Welcome to the Red Raider Coaches Show. I'm your host, Joe Hayes, and I'm here with our head football coach, Keith Goss. Coach, welcome to another show.
Excited to be here.
We're in week 4, correct?
Well, we've played 4.
We've played 4, so technically
We're week 5.
Rolling into week 5.
Rolling
Okay.
into week 5.
All right, so week 5, we're coming off another big win, exciting thing for our football program. First big shutout for our boys in quite some time here, since I believe it said since Coach Pooh.
Yeah, it was 2013, I believe.
Yep. So big win. Again, the players, I know we're excited. The community was excited. A lot of excitement going around the program. And before we dive into that and start dissecting it and talking about the game, I want to talk about our sponsors. Something we try to do each and every week. We like to get our sponsors the recognition they deserve. Our Platinum members, we have 6, which is the most we've ever had. It's our highest level of sponsorship. We definitely want to thank these guys, Industrial Forge, Parker Food Mart, Bacon County Hospital, Southside Church of God, Titan Modular Systems, and Anytime Fitness. Coach, anything to say about those sponsors?
I mean, it's every week I can't say enough about their support, and along with all of our sponsors. They've really done a lot to help us. Obviously this is a challenging season with everything that's going on with the pandemic, and so there's extra money being spent on different things, cleaning stuff and having other stuff prepared as far as putting the masks on the players when we get on the bus to travel. And it all adds up.
It does.
It all adds up. So it's their support has been greatly appreciated.
Coach, and I think my favorite thing with them too is getting to know them and their business. A lot of these, because it is Alma, Georgia, we know what the companies are and we kind of know what they do, and something, we know what Bacon County Hospital does. There's no denying. Everybody in the community knows what Bacon County Hospital does, but their support our community and what they do, and whether it's saving our loved ones or giving first aid to cuts and all this stuff. I mean, it goes on and on. But there are other ones like Titan that maybe someone in the community doesn't know. They build modular homes. Industrial Forge, they make specialty nuts and bolts, and not anything to do with football. They make specialty nuts and bolts, and for submarines and nuclear reactors, and just an unbelievable business.
Part of our community.
But they are.
And Anytime Fitness. I know every Wednesday now they're starting to do free community workouts outside their gym for 20 or 30 minutes. Just a way to reach out in our community, which I think is just awesome.
Yeah.
Parker's Food Mart, they're more than just a gas station.
Yeah, they are.
They are
one-stop shop.
They're one-stop. I've gone there and bought everything from dog food to dinner.
Yeah.
And it's all good.
It is.
And so it's places like that really are.
And you can smile about it. I like that I can go one place and go in somewhere. Just like Sunday, I had to leave to go out of town. I pull in there, I get my diesel fuel. I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get something to eat. So I went ahead and I said, you know what? I need some masks because we're going on the road on a trip, and I'm going to go ahead and get. And then it's nice to be able to just go ahead right there, bam, 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 and took care of everything I needed to take care of. And I spent the next 8 hours on the road driving and didn't have to worry about trying to find another store somewhere. So if I can spend my money and I can do it, I like being able to do it right here in town without having to go outside of town to do that. And Southside Church of God, that group, and the pastor and the youth pastor, and their involvement with our school system is just huge. And we'll maybe share a little bit about that and how the different churches and their involvement too, maybe a little impact, but just big things to have them part of our program and be that close where we can reach out, because sometimes you may have a player that's seeking a church or going somewhere that you can direct someone, or if you need speakers to come and talk to the players, if we need them fed, those type things.
Yeah,
and for them, I know their support is genuinely 100% to support these children, and they know what you're doing down here and the direction that you're trying to take the program. and want to give that support to help you guys out and to help those kids out. So it's big. It's,
Yes,
again, I know you guys hear us talk about these people each and every week, but it's a major part of our program, and we can't do what we do without them.
Without the support of this community.
Yep. Each week we went over our different levels. We just talked about the platinum sponsors. We have gold sponsors, silver sponsors, bronze, black. Last week we spoke about the black. This week I want to go over the red. We want to thank Tyler and Macy Taylor, Johnny Taylor, Rashid Slade, Tavares Folsom, PJ and Leslie Douglas, Ontario Moore, Beverly Gurley, Megan Harkleroad, Ricky Justice, Wendy Rogers, Calvin and Dawn Thomas, Amy Hutto, Blake Lewis, Eric Moore, Kaziria Wright, I think I said that right. If I didn't, I apologize. Brian Brutus Barber, the Blueberry Barn, Miss Ann Wiles there at the Blueberry Barn, Buck Harnage. Again, another big list of names there giving support and, you know, choosing a level. Those of you out there that don't know what these levels mean, you can get with a Touchdown Club member. We can explain the different levels and the kind of the perks.
What perks come with each package.
Yep, and it's just a huge way to make a contribution to the program. We try to give something back to you that you can hold on to for, which is our appreciation to you for your contribution. And each level gets more all the way up to the platinum, and that's putting their signs on the field and names on their logos and all this media attention that we try to get them. And,
that's right.
And we ask for you, Raider Nation, even if you can't give a contribution, the way that you can help back is definitely do as much business as you can with these guys.
Absolutely.
And or at least thank them. If you see them or if you run into them, just let them know how much you appreciate them, how much you appreciate their support for Bacon County football. And, you know, Coach, I know there's times that I can't, necessarily say give $50 every time that we have a fundraiser, we have a raffle, or we have this. So, everybody understands that. Just because you can't give, you can come to a game. You're supporting our Red Raiders.
That's
if
right.
you buy something in the concession stand, you're helping our band. If you buy a program, you're helping our cheerleaders. So every little tiny thing adds up in the big picture for everything of what it's going to make this whole operation run. And
because it's not just about football.
It's not.
It's really about all of our programs and elevating everything that we do here in Bacon County. And I hope people see that.
Yes, sir.
And that it's not just about one sports program, and it should never be. And so, we're going to try to build this in every sport.
Yeah. And I'm thankful to be part of a Touchdown Club that really, truly practices that philosophy for us to keep all sports in mind. And when we have an opportunity to do something for the cheerleaders, we try to do that. Or if we have an opportunity to do something for softball, that we've done that. And to me, that's a lot of appreciation of the core group that, we're all in this together. And, we're only as successful as our other counterparts over here. We want everything to be successful and grow. We want to see basketball do well this season and improve and get better. And we want to see softball compete and get better. And whether it's wrestling, band, cheerleading, we pull for all of them. We're Red Raiders through and through.
Absolutely.
Well, Coach, let's go a little bit into the game. Again, big game. We kind of go in. I know for me, and this is just speaking from what I saw, right at the start, it was a pretty physical matchup. I was a little concerned there at the very start of the game, and they come up against us, made a stop, forced us to punt to them. We stood up, defense played well, made a stop, and then somewhere right in there, we started getting a little momentum that was created, and from there on out, we pretty much carried the momentum and maintained it for the entire remainder of the game. And offensively and defensively, we did a very, very good job. Let's break it down. Let's start with offense. Being we put up that many points on the board. Let's start there with those guys. Coach, I felt Mason Michael had a really big night, looked really good in the pocket. I'm gonna give you the opportunity to kind of.
Mason had his biggest night so far, and it was just offensively before we even talk about a individual player. One of the biggest successes of the night was the amount of balance we were able to maintain. We didn't just run the ball. We didn't just throw the ball. It was a balanced attack, which is what we strive for. Our backs had probably the tougher job. Their team was built a little more to stop the run.
Right.
And we were able to take advantage of a few more things down the field, secondary wise. But Mason had a monster night. He threw for 2. He rushed for 2. I think he was
8 of 9.
8 of 9 or 9 of 10.
Yeah.
He only had 1 drop, and I say drop because it was dropped.
Right.
Now that player got a chance to get another one later.
That's right.
And we're proud of him.
Yep.
And got a big playoff and touchdown. Matter of fact.
That's one of my favorite things in football is when you see that. It just happened in professional sports that somebody slapped the football out of the guy's hand, before he crossed into the end zone, and they turn around and give him an opportunity to redeem himself.
That's right. And that's
just growing up. That's just life lessons.
Life lessons and a part of this great game.
Yes.
And that player jumped out there and continued to work and had some success. And you love to see stuff like that. That's going to help him grow as a person.
Yep.
And not just grow in the sport, but understand that, sometimes there's challenges. Sometimes you drop the ball.
Yep. And
you got 2 choices. You can lay down and feel sorry for yourself, or you can jump back up and go make the next play, and he did.
Yep.
So that's a credit to him, and I love the fact that we're growing character-wise in this team, and the wins are a byproduct of that. There's times where, don't get me wrong, they're still high school boys, and they got to be corrected.
Yeah.
And educated on how we do things and to be better young men. But the fact that we're starting to do some things successfully on the field is a byproduct of them doing enough of the right things over a long enough period of time, and that's exciting.
Coach, is that what you attribute more of this balance? I know sitting in the press box Friday night, I myself was thinking it, and I had some other people up there talking that exact word. And even from the Brantley County side, it was coming that there was a lot of balance. And, it's not something we've seen very often from, Bacon County teams in the past. We've either been pretty run heavy or we've been pretty pass heavy. We've got really good quarterback and good wide receiver core, but, our starting running back was injured. We've just always had that something slow one part of the game down. What do you attribute with this team of having this much balance with this group of guys right here?
I think a lot of it started last year. Last year, after several games in, I made a decision that we were going to start on one side of the football. And we weren't doing very, very good at the time.
Right.
But I made a decision we were going to go that way, and our guys were going to be an expert on that side of the ball. We weren't going to ask a kid to play both ways if we couldn't help it. I think there was one young man that still had to play a lot both ways, but we tried to move away from that. Now, if you're a starter on one side of the ball, you're probably our first backup on the other side of the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, we just don't have that many players. But I think it does something to build depth for a person to build pride, and this is my position, and take ownership in it and develop in it. And I think a lot of it started last year as we started that process. Now we have more depth. We have more guys that take pride in the fact that they're a starter. Without crossing guys over, we have 5 or 6 receivers that can step on the field and do the job. We have 2 or 3 running backs that can step in and run the ball. There's more competition because more guys play.
Right.
And I think that's a part of our growth process.
Well, I commend you on that, Coach, because it definitely showed in that game. As much as any game that I felt like we've had, being able to see that balance offensively, because every player that had a big play or had a good catch or a good throw or a good run, that's another thing that was coming out of the Brantley County press box was, as I'm sitting here and we're commentating and doing the radio show, and you hear what these guys are talking about is, my goodness, here comes another running back, and good gracious, this guy, like he's faster than the other one, or, and then here comes a third one, and they're just like, where'd this kid come from, and it just, being able to have that depth and have the skill set in that position, like you say, it really showed, and I'm proud of our players, I'm proud of our program, where it's at, to be able to see that, and
I mean, it takes time.
It does.
We got a great group of seniors athletically, and we got some good groups behind them as well. It's just going to continually build as long as we continue to do the right things to build it. I think, the more starters you have, the more people you have taking pride in their position, the more success you're going to have at this level.
Yeah.
That's my belief system. It seems to be working right now. It just wasn't pretty when we were getting it started.
Right, yeah. And Coach, again, I commend you on that and sticking, with your guns there on, hey, this is what we're gonna do, and getting your coaches on board and getting your players on board. It's not an easy task people see your vision of what you're trying to do, but I really think that it showed very well this past Friday night against Brantley County. And again, some big nights. Now, I do like to get the players a little bit of, I know, Coach, you don't like throwing them singles out there, but I know Bruce Brown and Guyton both had a very good night at the running back position.
They did, and it was, like I said, it was more of a balanced attack, and we pulled our guys mid-third. In the middle of the third quarter, we came out and had 2 quick scores after being up 21-0, and I pulled my running back with.
Yeah, so we got to see Evan Riles come in,
and 7-8 minutes left in the third, so.
And get another chance at playing a little varsity time there, which was exciting.
It is exciting. He's a tough, hard-nosed kid. I really wish I had one more time with him.
Yeah, for his first year,
first year playing football.
It's his senior year, and he never played football ever before, and decided his senior year he wanted to come out, and it's exciting to see.
It is. The thing is, you want to have guys in the program for 4 years because you can constantly build on their depth and knowledge of the game, and the more that a player knows, and the more techniques and skills he learns and has at his disposal when he's playing in the game, the better he's going to be. Plus, he's been in our weightlifting program that stretch of time, so that's. But for him to have closed the gap and never have played before, to helping us out on special teams and jumping in there some at running back, I'm really proud of how far he's come in a very, very, very short time.
Definitely, and a very smart kid. So he's, I know that helps as well with that super high intelligence level. So
he's
just
smart.
proud of him. O-line, one, I got to give Griffin a shout out. I'm like, how does an offensive lineman on a punt be the first man down the field? But he was pumped up Friday to see an O-line just, I'm talking full stride. And when you got a boy that big coming at you, I mean, he was getting down there. He was about to make a play on the 1 yard line.
He almost.
And he did it more than once. Yeah. It happened more than once.
Well, it's he's a guy.
He's hustling.
He hustles. There's no doubt.
Yeah, he's got some wheels, and we've seen it. I can think back. It may have been 3 years ago of him scoring. I can't remember if it was a scoop on a fumble, a scoop and score, or if it was like a bat up and a pick. But I just remember being like, oh, Griffin's got some wheels now, and I seen it again Friday night, and it was pretty exciting to commentate. I know it didn't make Brantley County side very happy, but to see our offensive line hustle, Andrew's another one, playing hard, getting out there, putting blocks, and seeing the patience of our offense was just really exciting to let these plays set up and see the guys doing their job and making their blocks on the edges and allowing the running backs to.
It's exciting because it's unselfish football.
Yeah.
And you have a bunch of guys playing together and playing unselfishly. You're on the verge of doing something special.
Yep.
With that being said, there's a ton of work to do still.
Yeah.
There's things we're correcting every week, things we're going to work on fixing every week that I'm still not pleased with, in offense, defense, and special teams. But you see glimpses of where it could really take off, and we're just going to keep trying to work and make sure they're accountable to get there.
And good job to the wide receivers. I know we didn't talk you guys up a whole lot here, but I want to give you guys a shout out on a good night as well. And Coach, just again, when you have this much balance, we really could talk about the whole offense, all 11 guys.
Really
so, we want to commend each and every one of you. Just because I didn't mention your name does not mean that we do not see what you're doing and appreciate everything that's going on, because they all did a really, really
That's
good
right.
job, all 11 starters there. Defensively, Coach, shutout.
Yeah.
It's big to be able to finish a game, keep that 0 on the board, especially in the third quarter when you start substituting guys in and you put the younger
Put our young
guys.
guys in there, and
Yeah.
they take pride in it, and they learn their role, and they do their job, and their job was not to give up points.
And they did that. Whether it was JV or varsity, they managed to hold on to that all night. And another all 11 players.
Right.
We could sit here and say everybody had their hat somewhere in a play at some point in the night.
Our defense is growing week by week and getting better at the things we do and the things we ask them to do. We still have a lot of young guys that play on defense. I think we only have 3 seniors on defense. So when you're still that young and you're starting to play at a higher level, there's a lot of room for growth still. Yes, we are doing things, we're doing good things.
Yeah.
But there's still a higher ceiling for growth. So we have so much more time with these guys.
That's good. Any standout there? I know, again, Trent Music had some big plays. Joe Harris, trying to think, he's got 50 and 51. I'm trying to think who the other one.
Trey Woodbury.
Trey Woodbury had a really big night, I felt. Had some good plays. And Cothran, man, he is just really.
Brady has made some pretty strong plays in space.
He sure has. Very impressive, and probably, from what I could hear from the Brantley County announcers, was one of their number one talks of the night, was talking about how this kid's all over the field and just the plays, the physicality, the lines that he's taken to get to the ball. He just really did a good job.
Well, I remember talking to them. They talked to some of the coaches in Brantley County after the game. I know a few of them fairly well, and they felt like they might be able to have an opportunity with him in space and be able to run at our other outside linebacker or strong safety. And that was not the case with either.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that affected their game plan, but it didn't necessarily work out the way
Yeah.
they thought it would against either one.
And my hat goes off to those guys for coming in and it's really good when an opposing team watches film and they say, okay, we're going to pick them apart here, and your guys step up. I know as a coach, that's
Right.
got to make you
Well,
really proud to say,
we all know each other in this business when you talk with the coaches. And so, it's really, you make a game plan and you look at a scheme and then you look at personnel and you try to figure out where your personnel is strong against their personnel being weak. I mean, that's part of the game.
and that's the X's and O's.
That's the X's and
basically.
O's. That's the chess match. And so, for guys that they thought they could attack, and it not working out for them, kind of speaks volumes about our guys.
And our X's and O's are getting bigger and better.
Well, when your X's and O's get bigger and stronger and faster,
Yes.
You tend to have a better outcome.
That's right.
And that was one of the things last year about the weight room. I'd like to tell you that every Friday night we'll be the strongest team. I don't know if that's the case yet.
Yeah.
I can only tell you this: we are significantly stronger than we were last year, and hopefully next year we're significantly stronger than we are this year. But that growth is happening.
Right.
There's no doubt in my mind that guys that are at the Red Raider level and above, there's a reason they're having success on the field.
And it helps too that our middle school has got that fire really starting to kick that off. Coach Owens and his staff, man, he's got a really good staff down there with him, and and just having the middle school administration support that a bunch too, of getting these kids in there, introducing them to a weight room, getting to understand the competitiveness of it and the want to, and when they get to you, if they've already got a pretty good start, it's better than a kid that's just
right.
No weight room experience whatsoever.
Developmentally, we had some kids that came into the weight room before COVID hit, and they had been taught, how to bench, how to squat, and they had done some of that previously, and been taught the proper technique, or things that, there's still small things to correct, but you can tell they had been educated on how to lift. And when you have that in place, you can crank it up a little faster with that group.
Well, I'm just glad to see it all paying off, Coach. I'm glad to be able to see it come together. A worthy opponent, Brantley County. Everybody was super nice over there. I want to thank their fan base, and everybody was very courteous.
There's some good people over
Yeah.
in Brantley County. There really is. I've known several coaches over there for a long time. I know most of their administration. There's really some nice, good, down-to-earth people.
Yeah. Well, Coach, again, congratulations on your 42-0 victory over Brantley. We're going to take a real quick break and get a little recognition here for our sponsors, and when we come back after the break, we'll talk about Tattnal County.
Sounds great.
Welcome back to the Red Raider Coaches Show. Coach, coming up this week, another big matchup, a larger school, 3A. We're a 2A classification school, they're 3A, so they are in the same region as, I believe, Appling, Pierce County. Are they in that region with those guys?
Appling, Pierce,
Cook?
No, it's Appling, Pierce, Long, Brantley, and Tattnal.
Okay. So, we played Brantley in that region, now we're playing,
Played Long.
and we played Long in that region, now we're playing Tattnal. You always like, sometimes when you can play up a classification in the preseason to get you
Get you prepared. They're gonna have, more bodies.
Right.
Than we are. And, that's okay. And our only loss to this point is as a school from a lower classification.
correct.
And, it's one of those things that it's, all preseason stuff, or not all preseason stuff, but all, pre-region.
Non-region.
Non-region.
Yep.
Pre-region play. And, obviously we want to do as well as we can in every game.
Right.
But it's all working up to region play and winning when you need to get into the playoffs.
And, and I hand it to, these opponents and what we're trying to achieve and what you guys are trying to do. Tattnal is not, from what I watched on film today, they're not going to be an easy opponent. Defensively, they worry me.
I mean, they're athletic, they're strong, you know, their coach does a great job. He's a 3-4 or 50, depending on how you wanna call it. You know, against a run-heavy team, he's more 50 based. He can come off and be a little more 3-4 against, or he has shown that in past years, not so much this year. He's really more 50 and then cover 0 behind it, playing straight man-to-man. He believes his guys on the perimeter can defend you one-on-one, and that, you know, his 7 guys can maintain the box against yours.
Yeah.
So that's his defensive philosophy. It's built off of pressure, and he's got some good guys up there as far as creating pressure.
Yeah. Is there any players or numbers there, Coach, that you kind of notice defensively for Tattnal that's, you know, that could be some issues for us?
There's, I forgot the young man's number, but their interior D linemen are sporty now. They have a big defensive tackle, a smaller, squattier center. I mean, not center, but nose guard that really gets off the ball.
Yeah, and he seemed to cause a good bit of disruption in the film that I watched, and he's the smallest guy on the line, but
he is, but he gets after it now. I'll give that kid credit. He'll be accounted for.
Yeah.
But he's earned our attention.
Well, definitely, you know, I know points were scored on their defense, but all in all, creating turnovers and things of that nature in the games, just unfortunately for Tattnal's defense, the offense struggled, a lot of timing, not to say that this game they couldn't pull it all together. We've
Right.
seen that happen ourselves, you know, where we will struggle offensively, but they definitely have weapons there.
There's plenty of talent at Tattnall County High School.
Well, their tight end is, I don't know how big he is, but just looking on film, he's got to be 6'6". I mean,
they have big, strong kids. They're going to run a shotgun wing T look, and they have some good players. It's, you know, we're going to have to stay, you know, gap sound in our responsibilities and fly to the ball. But you know, there's no mistaking it. They have a immense group of talent.
yeah, their quarterback, I noticed, you know, he's got an arm, so he can go deep. I watched him throw one ball 40-45 yards. The wide receiver, he overthrew the 2 big plays that I watched. But also, if he breaks out, you know, he's got some speed as well. So here, you know, you kind of got that triple threat type of deal where if he connects and gets timing on with any of these, where you know, if he's passing or he's running, you know, you've got to keep all eyes on him. And I say triple threat. I know they say dual threat, but I always say triple because you still got the man in the backfield that he's handing off to. So and it just, it's very difficult when you have quarterbacks with those extra skills. And
yeah, there's no doubt that you know, they got a talented guy back there as a signal caller, and you know, I think they're a good team. They started off 0-2. They've missed a few games because of different protocols. But you know, I'm sure they're going to be excited to play us. It's their homecoming, and you know, I'm sure they're excited to get back out on the field and play.
Yeah. Well, Coach, we you know, this week practice preparing for them, the players all felt pretty comfortable in what they saw and their matchups this week and what we need to do. You know, how was practice this week?
I mean, we're going to have a very business-like approach to practice. You know, we need to make sure that we understand, you know, what they're trying to accomplish offensively and defensively and on special teams. So it's the thing that, you know, not every day is going to be a big rah-rah day. Usually on Mondays we go pro gear. Tuesday's our big hitting day, and Wednesday we're cleaning it up and working on situational stuff in practice. Thursday we actually go in the morning, and that's so we have an opportunity to go through our special teams, and any of our guys that play JV will have an opportunity to go play JV and not miss us going through our special teams work.
I got you.
So it's, that's our normal business week, and it's been fairly effective for us so
Well,
far.
good. Well, I know you got a JV game this evening. We had a little change there. We're playing Brunswick, correct? Here at home.
We're playing Brunswick, Brunswick's JV, and we're playing them at home. We had Charlton County on the schedule, but they had some issues. I think getting a bus, or at least that's what I was told.
Right.
As far as I know, it's just getting a bus and getting here. There was something else going on. I think with maybe a softball game, and they had limited buses to travel. So, if it's a varsity versus JV, JV's getting the bump.
Yep.
And so, we all understand that, especially in these times. So I called around, called a couple of friends, and saw if, was trying to see if anybody had an opening and any availability, and Brunswick had it. So they're gonna come over and play us today.
So we look forward to that, I believe, at 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
Another big thing, community, feeding the players, and Raider Nation, I want y'all to know, like yesterday, two of the parents came down, correct, and fed some of the players after practice yesterday?
After practice this morning.
This morning, okay.
This morning
I
practice.
know I saw it, I was just trying to remember when I saw it, but feeding the players after practice this morning, and that's just huge, to be able to.
It's to have that type of community support.
Yeah.
And people just showing up and pouring in. It really means a lot from different people in the community. It means a lot to the players.
Aaron and Miss Linda, we thank y'all so much for that, and just the small things like against Berrien County when Coach Ward came and being a coach that was involved in this program before, and being a Hall of Famer now, and being able to speak to the players and see players respond to that speech. And just like last week, Jared Lee, I believe it is, with Alma Church of God, come in and give a devotion to players, and see players respond to those devotions. It's just big. I'm fortunate that we live in Alma, Georgia, in Bacon County, and our community and Raider Nation, just this level of support and all the fine little details of just these people coming in, whether it's feeding the players, whether it's speaking to the players, whether it's helping provide gear. There's just so many moving parts to this whole organization of what it takes to be successful. So it's not just one little thing. It's not just you. It's not just the player. It's not just me, or it's not just, the more we can get this machine moving, it all speaks volumes when it starts clicking.
Yeah, I had a neat message. I'm originally from Jacksonville, Florida, and one of my high school teammates messaged me on Facebook yesterday or the day before, and there was a picture on there, and it was a picture of his grandfather on his mother's side that was a Red Raider and played for us back in 1956.
How about that?
And so he went on to talk about a couple things in the little paragraph he wrote me, but he was just talked about how exciting it was, and it's pretty neat because it kind of shows you how small of a world
Right.
it is. Here's one of my high school teammates down in Jacksonville, Florida, that
That had a tie
They had a tie, and I might have talked to him a handful of times in 20 plus years, and but it was a neat thing.
Yeah.
It was a neat thing the other day. So that was it's exciting. Stuff like that's exciting.
It is. Coach, I appreciate you. Raider Nation, we appreciate you. We want to support this game big. We want to support our boys. So if we can all load up and come over to Tattnal County and come to the game. Also, before we go, I'm going to let Brent, he wants to jump in here and say a few things. But we thank you, Raider Nation. We thank all of our sponsors. Coach, we appreciate you and the players. Yes, sir.
We also gotta say something about our reverse raffle.
Oh yeah, we do have the reverse raffle coming up
on October 10th.
Yes, so
October 10th,
if you can reach out and get a ticket, tickets.
They're available at the high school, the middle school, and most of our Booster Club members.
And you can go in with somebody on these tickets, so
Absolutely.
you don't have to be one person buy a ticket. You could get 4 people to go in and buy a ticket, and you put all 4 names on there. That way, if you win, it's going to be for a $10,000
That's right.
cash giveaway. And not only is that the only chance that you have, every 25th ticket pulled wins some sort of cash prize. So definitely, if you want to help out, have a chance to win. There will be no more than 310 tickets sold. So that is the maximum number. So really, you've got pretty good odds there at getting into some sort of money. But anyway, Brent, you got something?
Joe, I just wanted to mention a lot of the folks that tune into the Coaches Show are some are subscribers, obviously, and I was told, I talked to the athletic director. I've never been to Reidsville and broadcasted from this stadium. For us to be aware that the Verizon specifically, or the cellular service is not very good. So there's a chance that our broadcast will be poor or non-existent. So I want to just give you a heads up. I'll put some stuff on social media to remind you of that, because I know I'll get a lot of texts and calls and that sort of thing if it is that way. In fact, hopefully that won't be the case, but just giving everybody an idea that if they can't travel over to see the game, it may be difficult for them to watch, but they certainly can listen to it on the radio.
Yeah.
So
So it will be on 104.3 Classic Country. Brent, do have a question. If you're not able to air,
we will record it.
We'll
and
record it maybe Monday or Tuesday
when I get home
that night.
tomorrow night.
There you go.
I'll upload it.
Okay.
So they'll be able to watch it late Friday night or first thing Saturday morning.
Okay. I say load up and come on out. Don't miss your opportunity to catch in on the live action. And if you can come on, let's support our Raiders. Let's show up big. You know, Tattnal County is a big county, and we want them to know Bacon County has a presence. Our boys are doing well, and they got every reason for us to make that 45, 50-minute trip over to Reidsville to support them. So we appreciate y'all. We'll see you next week, and go Big Red.
Horns up, go Raiders.